Hello and welcome to episode number 6 of Speaking Tangents. My name is Orion and with me today is...
Firas, like always. Hello, welcome.
How are you, man?
Tired, man.
Yeah.
Exactly, very, very tired.
Tell me about it.
Like people would say here in Germany, erschöpft. I'm really, I had a tough day at work. I mean, not tough as in like with difficult people, but I had to walk a lot and to carry lots of glasses and stuff from one place to another. So plus to clean the entire bar at the end because it was the late shift. So
Wow. Yeah.
And I mean, I don't want to complain because, but we have a new guy who's also doing bartending. And even though he said he's done it before, let's say you kind of have to clean the bar again after him, which is okay. I mean, he will get on the same.
There.
Yeah, he'll get there, and I'm not, I won't escalate it or anything, but it's a bit annoying at the end of your shift when you just want to go home and nope. But wait, there is more.
There is more, yeah. And another one.
Yeah. And plus, I mean, this weekend, as you see, the walls are yellow now. So
really well done.
Yeah, thank you.
Looks great.
I mean, again, like I was telling you earlier, it's the paint mostly, like really high quality paint. And I remember, because this is not my first painting of a house or rooms or whatever, but man, it was like so complicated before because we couldn't afford good quality paint. So we had to buy like budget or medium, whatever. So it was a struggle and it was
It just sucked.
It sucked like everything. And it's so easy when, you're working with high quality materials. And while working, I was like, why was I such a cheap ass and didn't I buy like the highest quality roller because I got like the medium one. I don't know why, I just did whatever. And it kind of left like this diagonal pattern of sorts. And I mean, I did my due diligence to get all those marks to disappear, and they mostly did, but in certain light you can see like a chattering thing. So,
Really? I don't see anything like that.
Yeah, it's the paint was really good quality, and plus the primer. So if you need to, refresh your home at some point, I really recommend this.
I know who to ask.
Yeah. I mean, you can just take a picture from that can of paint and you'll find it somewhere here in a DIY store, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's no surprise though, right? If you are crafting something, be it painting a wall or a guitar, the quality of tools and materials just matters.
Indeed. I remember like my first guitars. So I became interested in Luthier, I think in 2008, 2009. And at some point, my guitar, so I had this very cool rehearsal with some cool dudes, let's say. It was like an impromptu thing. It was a really, it just happened.
It just happened, yeah.
And all of a sudden, we were playing like this bossa nova, samba thing, yeah?
All right.
And all of a sudden, I hear pop. And that was the neck of my acoustic guitar, which just went. So yeah, I was shocked. I was 100% shocked because that had never happened to me up until that point. So I went to this guy who was, I don't know, people said, he's a good repairs person. So the guitar is still here. You can see is this unfinished one here.
Yeah.
I mean to finish it this year. It's been like for the last 2 years in this state, unfortunately. And that guy botched it like really bad. And mind you, this guitar, so I got it after getting in this university that my parents wanted and I didn't. So I had to work my ass off to get this guitar to study maths and physics and whatever I had to do to get in the Polytechnic Institute. And you know. And then this guy, like, I was shocked really when he gave it back to me. It was scratched, and
come on.
he went through the. So the wood is, I don't know. I mean, it's a veneer thing.
Mm-hmm.
I changed the top. Now it's solid wood, but the back and sides are veneer, and the outer layer is mahogany, I presume, or something that looks like mahogany. And it was to make it look like even more high quality, right? It had this. Man, I'm so tired. I forgot even. So it's like. Coloring thing that's like super thin, right? So you just apply it to wood. Man.
Like lac, right?
Not really. It's like water based. So you basically infuse
what's the name? I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
that stuff.
Yeah, that stuff that I cannot remember the name in English right now.
I promise we're intelligent. We're just tired.
Like really,
I mean, somewhat intelligent, but you know.
Yeah. We're not that stupid, at least, or uncultured. But anyways, so this guy, when he repaired it, so after he glued it, he went through this color, coating thing, right? And then he applied some other kind of coloring that looked like horrible, really horrible. It looked like it was pockmarked. Right. So yeah, it was. So I just gave him his money, and I was like, never again, never, ever, ever again will I take any of my instruments to these butchers.
Yeah.
So what was it like? I think around 2010, I was working at IKEA at the time. I was doing like interior design and stuff. And one of my colleagues had a friend who had another friend in the United States. So the guy from the States sent the book to another friend in Canada, who sent the book to another friend of a friend of these girls in Germany, here in Germany, in Stuttgart or wherever. And from Germany, I got the book to Romania. Yeah, because you couldn't order. Like, even in 2010, you couldn't order anything from eBay or from anything else. Yeah, we were banned. Internationally.
Why?
Because nobody trusted us. I mean, there are still lots of fraudsters in that part of the world. And it was kind of like, by default, we do not send to Romania anything, or Bulgaria, or many countries, like also from the like
old Eastern Bloc.
Yeah, like ex-Yugoslavia. I'm pretty sure, like, to the Czech Republic, they could have gotten some stuff, but or maybe Poland, but not us.
That's insane.
Yeah. I mean, it used to be like that, mate. So I was also talking about this with someone about xenophobia and racism and how it feels to be left aside. And this person is from Africa. So he looked at me like, what do you know about racism? I said, well, about racism, not much, but about xenophobia, well,
yeah,
we can talk at length. And after, going at it and telling this guy like how it was for us, he was like, oh, okay, I did not know that. So yeah, we were kind of blacklisted by default, so we couldn't access still, so well off after 89, right? Not directly, so you could, like this, like from friend of a friend, you could buy stuff. So yeah, I got some books. They're still up there. You can see them in my pseudo library thing.
Oh yeah, it says Guitar Player Repair Guide.
Yes,
and then the Mastering Engineering's Handbook. And
that's for
Mixing Engineer's Handbook.
Yeah, exactly. So I have the music production stuff plus this Luthery stuff. But that one, that's the second book I got. I have another one which is written by a Brit, and that was a very good, a very good book. And yeah, so I started experimenting on derelict guitars, like destroyed ones nobody would cry over. And then I started building. So, and because we went from like good quality materials, good quality tools, man. So the first guitar is actually the second in the rack there. I I built that with like shit quality everything, like really.
Yeah.
I mean, only the wood was decent, but anything else was not good. Like all my tools. So imagine I bought like this incredibly inexpensive set of woodworking tools, and they were made out of, I don't know, man, the softest steel ever. So I had some chisels that would go blunt after seconds of using them, like seconds.
Yeah.
You couldn't. So I had to harden the tips. So I bought a blowtorch and some, yeah, exactly, and some oil.
No way. This is at least you used oil and not water, like an
Not
idiot.
water.
Yeah.
No. And I preheated the oil. So I read all this somewhere, and yeah, it was really scary. First of all, I had some sand nearby and some like damp rags and stuff just in case, but the results were okay. I mean, I got the steel to like cherry red to orange red, so I think it was like 1200 degrees or something.
Not 1200? That doesn't sound right. If it's just steel, it's gonna melt. Sounds like 600-700, no?
No, at 700 it goes from blue to black, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And then from 900 on it's like cherry red, and then 1100 it starts to glow. So I think like around 1000 maybe. So if any of you guys know stuff
comments.
about steels and metallurgical skills, just please correct me. I don't remember stuff I learned in the second year of university.
Of engineering.
Yeah, I really forgot. But anyways,
did you heat treat the blade afterwards, like after hardening?
No. I did not know about that bit. But trust me, it never got brittle. So it got harder, but never brittle.
Not that hard again.
No. So yeah, anyways, but it was a chore. So if you combine like the lack of skills or the lack of experience of doing stuff plus bad tools,
that sucks. Yeah, I can remember.
Yeah.
I grew up around like craftspeople. So my father has been a metal worker forever, has his own company and so on. It's like a Metallbaumeister is the official title.
Yeah, sounds cool.
And like my grandfather was like a builder, and the uncle was a electrician or is an electrician and so on. And 20 years ago, my father started his own company and his own like workshop and so on. And I remember he once bought like files and chisels and so on. They were just a little bit cheaper. And they were so bad compared to the old stuff he had. And he just wanted some new things because the old stuff was really old. And he's been working with that for I don't know how many years at that point. Like, nope, I'm going to toss this shit out. And, I'll keep my old stuff and get like proper tools.
Yeah.
It just makes such a huge, huge difference.
It does.
It's not even funny anymore.
No, it was never funny. So I remember I had some wrenches, like a set of wrenches. They were this like, I don't know what kind of an alloy, but imagine like a grayish golden hue. Okay. And they were made in Poland, it said on them. I think my grandpa had them from late 70s, early 80s, I don't know. And, we used them for a while. They were like super good quality, like not good quality, like super, super good quality. And then I don't know, I was somewhere else and in a pinch, I got some whatever, exactly like you said.
Yeah.
Man, the wrench bent. So I've never seen that, like a wrench to bend, and I'm not the strongest dude ever, and I haven't used like a pipe over it or something to
like a proper use,
right? So I what? I was shocked.
So my dad still has some of the files. that he bought when he was an apprentice.
Right.
And they're still like working like it's the first day.
I mean, yeah.
So
Tool steel, yeah.
And the cool thing about those is, so the steel is very good, and the handle you can replace, on some of them at least.
Right.
So that's like really nice. Once the handle is like worn off or breaks or something, you just replace it and you just keep going. And there's still a little hammer that I got when I was little because, of course, I wanted to build stuff because, you know, Dad is doing that. And that still exists and is doing work today. So
nice.
That's really cool. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, tools and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, like actual tools, not people, right? So.
Yeah. Or the band. Man, I discovered that the band tool is really late. I think I was working at...
Is that the moment to say I don't even know it?
You don't know the band tool?
No.
Given your musical preferences, I think you love it. So first of all, they're doing this kind of how to put in words what they're doing. Let's say prog rock to maybe math rock of sorts, but with really clever vocal lines and like clever lyrics, and some of them like really dodgy, like really dodgy.
That's up my alley.
There's a song that's called Stink Fist, which got banned. Yeah, for the reasons you might think so. It's about prison and stuff. So yeah.
Yay!
But besides controversy and all that crap, the music is just, I mean. Amazing, really amazing.
Are they like Ailstorm?
I don't know Ailstorm.
No, it's like a pirate rock metal type of thing.
No, this thing is like super sophisticated.
Really funny.
I've never found the amusement or the funny part in Tool's music, but it's the type of music that so you can listen to the same song 5 to 10 times and hear different things or focus on different things. So
check them out. Yeah, 100%.
Actually, I have another band which features the same singer, which is called The Perfect Circle. I have a CD here. If you have anything that can play CDs, cool. Then I can give you that CD.
Yeah, I like that.
And that's more metal than what Tool is doing usually. And I think you'd enjoy it.
Yeah,
it's
sounds like
pretty
something
cool.
I'd enjoy, yeah.
But I discovered this band like really late. And there is a reason, because there were always people around me that were like huge Tool fans, like from early 2000s. I always found them to be like Tool's fans to be
nerds.
No, not nerds. Like a bit too pushy. Like you have to listen to this. You have to. And
like evangelists.
Exactly. So I was like, yeah, you know what? I won't.
How about no?
Exactly. So, I got a clip here, like a pic thing, whatever. I hope I can repair it. But yeah, I discovered that band really late. But yeah, tell me more about your dad and your experiences in the tool shop.
Oh yeah, so a classic one. The rule is you don't have your hands in your pockets, and you do not lean on things.
Okay.
And so
basically, don't be an American, right?
I mean there is like a reason behind it. So first of all, if you have your hands in your pockets and you trip, you fall face first into metal stuff. Like everything in that workshop is made of hard steel. So the only exceptions are the regular workbenches, but those are like, I don't know, like 15 centimeters, like thick hardwood. And then the other work surfaces, like the big tables where you do the welding on and so on, that's just pure steel. Right, and then you have like all this stuff lying around and so on.
Pointy stuff, I presume, yeah.
You don't want to fall face first into that. And then the whole don't lean on things is from the welding part. Like if you're welding steel, it gets really hot, like above 1,000 degrees. And so even if you stop and you did the whole thing, the pieces are a few hundred degrees hot. And of course, I was an idiot, and not listening. And I was really lucky because I had these welder's gloves. So they are like really thick leather, actual leather.
Yeah.
And I was talking and I was like leaning on the table like that. And someone was like, why does it smell like super burned, Like, oh yeah, it's the glove. And I was like really lucky because it was not my hand. Like,
I mean, you would have felt it right away. If
it got really hot and my hand was red a little, but I was just lucky because the glove is made.
Beginner's luck, right?
Yeah, so like 100%. And then there was another funny story. One of the apprentices and we got along like really well. And so we would play like practical jokes on each other. And one time, sorry, Dad, he just, so there is like this cooling liquid that saws and like drills and so on, the big ones use. Yeah. So at that time, I was still drinking like a lot of cocoa, like milk with cocoa.
All right.
Because I was doing like a lot of sports and so on, and I just,
Yeah.
And so he put some of that into it, and you can't see it because it's also like, it has like a milky color and it shimmers blue in the light. And I was just drinking it and it tasted like horrible. And so as a revenge thingy, I took some WD-40 and put it into his naturtrübe Apfelschorle.
So basically in his apple juice.
Yeah, and so and naturtrüb being the apple juice that's not filtered.
Yeah, it's cloudy. Yeah,
it's cloudy, so he didn't see it, and he just like pulled the bottle, and went straight to the restroom, and spent some time there. So yeah, we did some stupid things.
This thing with jokes. Whew. Sorry for that, mate. I'm really tired. We were in this material science lab in the first year of the Polytechnic Institute, and we had this colleague, like huge guy, really imposing guy, who kept on bullying everyone because he
could,
and because he said that he was a black belt in Taekwondo and he could take any of us. And,
okay.
Right. So he managed to piss all of us off. Like we were like,
no, really?
We were watching the guy like, you'll
trip up.
Yeah, something will happen to you all of a sudden. So imagine we were in this like super old school type of science lab, right? And we had these microscopes, but not like the ones for biology that use transparency, so you look through a glass. How is that thing called? A glass
Objektträger in German.
Yeah, I don't know how it's called, but it looks like it's like well, there are two very thin pieces of glass. In between, there's some kind of an organic
whatever you want to look at,
right? And for this type of checking like metals and the structure, you have a reflection one. So it's a different type of microscope. But so the microscopes were all of them like super old and old school. And they were all plugged in at the end of this huge bench. I mean, I think each bench with the microscopes, so it had like maybe 20 microscopes, like, butt to butt. You could sit on either side of that big bench of sorts, or, well, table, not a bench. You know what I mean. And but all the sockets were on the end of the table.
At one end?
At one end.
Okay, yeah.
Everything, right? So we figured out which one was his microscope. And we were already at the last two microscopes, so exactly at the end, and one of our colleagues had his hand on the plug. So whenever this guy would look in the microscope, he would just unplug it, and because everything was, like with light, something had to reflect. Man, this guy would just explode, and what is this shit? And he would start to wrangle like the cord, and we would plug in and out like the the plug, right?
Yeah.
in the outlet, and it's a shitty cable. Yeah. He took one guy, he grabbed it, like, you take this one, I'll take yours. He went to the next one, we will look, this one, number 3. Yeah. Same thing. And then, at some point, he exploded. He did, a full-on tantrum. He called the professor. The professor came, we just plugged it in.
Of course.
Everything was perfectly, no, but look, and he started wrangling the cord, and the professor was like, are you insane? Do you know how much all this equipment costs? Yep. Get out! So we got the guy out.
Nice.
And we did that to him a couple of times, up until, so he got really violent, and he slapped or kicked or something, one of our colleagues. And in the next dorm, there was this guy's brother who was 2 years his senior. And that guy came. I mean, imagine a guy who was at least 30 centimeters shorter than this bully, right? He came. He was to his brother, is this the guy? Yeah. And he beat the shit out of that guy. So with his...
Wait. What? I thought he was a black belt in Taekwondo.
Yeah. So he got... he lost 2 teeth in the scuffle.
Process.
Yeah. And he also fell a flight of stairs. So
Whoops.
He got really, really bad. But you look for it, you get it at some point.
You know what's really interesting? Whenever somebody brags about being a black belt at anything, that usually means they're not. And it's most times it's just empty bravado, because all of the people that reached higher in ranks, let's say, of any of these types of martial arts, like the purples and the browns and the blacks, they don't talk about it.
Yeah.
They don't show off. They're not bullying people.
No.
They
I mean, there are some people who are like that, but they're minority, so they're not.
So, yeah. Because if you have to go through this process of starting from scratch and getting that far, it's a process that optimizes, let's say, for chill people, right? And it kind of not perfectly, of course.
No,
but
you know what? Why I want to add something here, because I also did some martial arts. I never got super advanced. I mean, as in belt but I learned at least the basics, and there were lots of very violent people who came there.
Yeah.
But by spending time there and getting their ego checked, every training, So I remember when I was doing Shotokan karate, so one of the most traditional types of karate, or not even traditional, because they're all traditional, but the most done around the world, let's say. We had some bullies, and they would get to train with the sensei, with the, you know. So that training was humbling, to say the least, because whenever we did the conditioning of arms and feet, these guys' arms and feet were rebar. Yeah. So you would get various colors of bruising all over the place, and it was horrible, really.
Yeah.
So whenever you were a smartass or you were like a bully or something, okay, go and train with, with sensei. So I think it's more like that, right?
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
by the time you get really advanced, I mean, you've been through it so many times that you know most scenarios, let's say, of how a fight will end. And there's no need for violence. I mean, I think that's why most of the martial arts masters, they become very interested in painting and in other types of like ikebana or, doing beautiful stuff, like exactly like ikebana, like arranging flowers or doing all kind of Zen gardens and such interesting things, right?
Yeah, but exactly this process of getting humbled repeatedly, maybe even by somebody who's smaller than you and looks weaker than you or whatever, that's what optimizes for people to be chill.
Yeah.
Because I had a similar experience when I was doing a semester of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in school or in university. And it was just humbling, getting folded over like a pretzel by
everyone.
I'll say it in like by a little girl that was like 10 centimeters smaller than me and like had half my weight.
Yeah.
Like physics said I should have gotten that, but I just didn't. And I wasn't even the worst case in quotes, because there was another guy who was like doing bodybuilding, and he was like really strong and like doing CrossFit and so on. He was like, I don't know, almost like 1.90 m and like 100 kilos of muscle.
Yeah.
She did the exact same thing to that guy. Right. And so that experience, you either learn to accept it and, be humble, and that makes you chill because you just learn that doesn't matter how strong you are, there's always somebody who's stronger and also
or more skilled in this case.
Skilled or sometimes just luckier. That also can happen.
Yeah.
And so if you learn to deal with that, it just makes you more quiet, more relaxed, more laid back, and you also don't feel the need to bully somebody or to humiliate somebody, because it's not a nice experience, right? And people who don't have the capability to take a step back, detach a little bit from their ego, and take it as the valuable life lesson this can be.
Yeah.
They don't make it long and far in these types of environments.
No.
Because you have this experience every day. You get better noticeably every day, and yet you get humbled every single day.
True.
So I think that's a valuable experience for anyone to have.
True.
But those who make it really far, they have the capability to put their ego back, and therefore they don't even, because they have their ego in check, they don't even have to get into a fight, because why would they? It's just,
I mean, you check your skills and your ego at every training. If it's a good, dojo, let's say, to use the traditional Japanese term, or dojong, if you're doing anything Korean or whatever type of martial arts hall, let's say, gym, right?
Whatever.
It doesn't matter, but there's something more about technique and strength. It doesn't always beat strength. So I've seen. So many years ago, I did for 1 year, 1.5 years, I did Aikijujutsu, which is the ancient form of what became Aikido later. It's basically what the actual samurai were learning to do if they had no weapons all of a sudden anymore, right? So you won't find in Aikijujutsu any kind of kicks, because they were dressed up in armor, so kicks were not an option, right? But you'll find lots of balance work and getting the other guy out of balance and putting him on the ground and doing something on the ground. And the difference, let's say, between this older form of martial arts and what later became Aikido is, first, it's way more violent, and you'll use like knees and elbows and headbutts and almost everything, and stuff that's truly prohibited in any kind of sports martial arts.
Yeah.
So eye gouging, everything.
Everything to annihilate the enemy before he kills you, basically.
Exactly, because it was a life and death thing. And of course, we couldn't do all that because who will have their eyes gouged out at the training, right?
Exactly.
So of course, we had to, whenever it was like a hit to the eyes or like a backhand slap to the eyes, which it's very useful, by the way, yes. And you won't see it. We were doing it to the, to the forehead, exactly, and stuff like this. And after 1 year, 1 year and a half, by the way, so it was this dojo was so traditional that there was no exception. You either had a white belt or a black belt. The only exception the guy did once was when there was this guy who had I think a second degree or like the second brown belt, because in that system there were like 2 brown belts, and he was just before getting his black belt. So he was like, okay, you can wear that on top of your white belt. So everyone
you still have the white belt.
Yeah, and also our sensei, he still had a white belt that was like really dirty and really smudgy. I mean, that thing looked like shit, to be quite honest. But
after how many years of use though? 20, 25?
35 30, or more, I think. Yeah, at that point. Anyways, so this guy was also doing all kind of other stuff. So he would talk to us about the need of not being violent and containing one's, bad instincts. And once a month, I think I've been to this sort of an event once or twice. I don't quite remember. It's been a while. But he would invite people from various martial arts or even street fighters, like, badass people. Everyone would get like at least like boxing gloves or karate gloves or something, and we would spar to test ourselves, like what works, what doesn't work. Because also Aikijujutsu, or I've also saw Aikijutsu in some places, whatever it's called, has all kind of movements and things that look impressive, but
do jack shit.
No, not only there are things that are really useful, but what's even more useful is like learning positioning and learning how to move your feet. And for example, here, like a Greco-Roman wrestler or a boxer, man, they're like really experts in that.
Yeah.
And learning how to move your balance and to do all kind of stuff. So we tried our Aikijutsu thing on boxers. There was even a Muay Thai guy. You couldn't get close to that guy. You would get hit with something very fast and very painfully. So, but you know what? At the end of each and every cross martial arts training event, we would just sit in a circle and discuss like what worked, what didn't work. And I remember at some point there was this guy, what was he? There was a boxer who got surprised by a throw, because, he did like bobbed and weaved and hit almost everyone. At some point, someone got kind of diagonally behind him, and that was him on the ground like really fast. Yeah. He did not expect that, right? And also this guy was not very experienced, but there were techniques, and most techniques, because there's a reason they survived. The problem is there most like in 9.999 out of 10 cases, they're not well explained. And in karate, for example, you have the kata, so you have the theoretical form, right?
The flow,
right. You just execute in mid-air or like in thin air without a partner, and then you have the bunkai, you have the application, and then you're learning. I mean, some senseis or some teachers are better than others, or some instructors.
Of course.
And some of them really did their due diligence. And you'll find some, like even online guys, like the karate nerd, like Jesse Enkamp, like a really good karate sensei, who went to China to look for, and first went to Okinawa and then went to China to look for the, like the ancestors of karate, because it's all based on some Chinese martial arts from the southern part of China, which they were like experts in hand fighting, not feet fighting. Very interesting. That thing, like that entire kicks flurry of things comes from a French savate, which I was like really, yeah.
Okay.
Seems like most of the footwork, or the kicks, they're coming from the most unexpected place.
Interesting.
So I might be like totally wrong. So if there's any karate expert or martial art expert, please correct me. But from what I could gather, seems like karate comes from the Chinese tradition of martial arts. And I mean, basically in Japanese, kara is empty, means empty, and te is hand. So empty hand is empty hand fighting. So it's interesting, but not everyone is explaining it well. And those katas are really boring if nobody's explaining to you what you're doing in there. Because they're not only blocks, most of them are like steps towards throws, like judo throws and all kind of stuff. So they encoded in these katas a lot of a wealth of information, but seems like it got lost along the way. And everyone is doing it kind of like reciting a prayer or doing something like that, right? It's very dogmatic in a way.
Plus static blocks, it's force against force, and that's definitely not what this was about.
No.
And coming back to the strength thingy, of course there are like parameters that make it more or less important. So if you are in a gym, a dojo, there are rules, right? Yeah. So the example I gave earlier, of course the gym buddy could have just slammed her, right? But that's not allowed, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So of course these things matter.
Yeah.
The less rules you have, the more strength matters. I mean, that's why we have weight classes, right? True. And the other thing is also the more the level of technique both have, or the skill both combatants have or fighters have, is similar to each other, the more strength also matters. And one thing that's completely overlooked in many times is also endurance.
Yeah, the stamina. Stamina is
if you gas out within the first 5 seconds, that's a problem, right?
Yeah, big problem. Yeah.
So
no, but there's one more thing. So our and my first karate, like the guy from the Shotokan, right, the sensei, he told us a thing. This was like prepping for a competition, and he told us like intention beats skill, practice, training, everything. Intention. So if you have the intention of winning, you might get through many other stuff. Of course, you needed skill because and by the way, so this is Romania in the mid-90s, right? Each sports association, at that time at least, they were getting some money from the state for producing performance, right? For getting medals, cups, and stuff.
Okay.
And that's why, of course, the sensei would recruit for these competitions like the cream of the crop, of course, right? But they would have us, the small guys, also come there, for support and for, giving them water and whatever.
Somebody has to do the work.
But we were always required to come like in full gi and with our belts, which was like, why do we still, we're not even competing. All of a sudden, like a second blue belt guy or like a brown belt guy would come to us, hey, give me your orange belt. So, yeah, they would do that. And everyone was doing that.
It. Yeah.
So you would see at some point some green belt like smashing everyone. Was that, what's happening here?
The new prodigy.
Exactly. So, and imagine at the time, even for competitions, they were using like this flimsy karate gloves.
Like the MMA gloves?
Yeah, no, not really. I mean, they have like a pretty thick and soft. I have a pair here somewhere, like a knuckle protection, right? But they were open palm, so you could still grab and stuff. People would temper with that,
of course,
with that sponge or whatever it was inside, and would put something very hard inside. Yeah. I mean, people would get pretty damaged out of those competitions. Especially there was like a segment for the higher belts where punching to the face was not allowed, but kicking was.
What?
Yeah.
How does that make any sense?
Don't ask because
okay.
Anyways, but man, I saw some really horrendous stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can imagine. I mean, like roundhouse kicks, like full on force to the head, people like fainting or like blacking out, and
the medic in my head is like, jeez.
Yeah. And imagine like mid-90s, there was maybe like a ice bucket somewhere or like one of those cooling sprays, and that's it. If things were like really bad, they would just send them to the ER.
Be a man, dude. Go alone.
Yeah, exactly. Like
crazy.
Die like an actual man, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
if he dies, he dies.
Yeah, exactly. Stupid, right? But
really stupid.
I mean, I don't regret doing all that. Fortunately, I was never good enough to get into those competitions. I was just there, on the side, a cheerleader if you want. But,
wow, now I have images in my head. Thank you.
Me with two pom-poms. No.
Yeah.
As said before, we were in full gi. And we were required to
that's
pass.
What I would say now too.
to pass the belt, pass the yellow or orange or whatever you have it. Yeah. But everyone was cheating, like everyone.
Yeah, because
they needed those medals and those cups to get more money from the state. So of course you will find a way, right? So
there's like the saying, if there is a metric that you apply and you actually measure, the second you start measuring it and people know about it, it loses all its value.
Yeah.
Because people will optimize and just game the system. And it's everywhere, right?
Yeah. I mean, about gaming the system and about gamifying, I was also thinking, so I've been doing this, I have this very long Duolingo streak, right?
You're still doing that?
Yeah.
I stopped. So I was learning Spanish with Duolingo.
Yeah.
And I really liked it in general because you had this like hearts, right? 5 hearts.
Yeah.
And if you didn't make 5 mistakes, you could basically keep going on forever. And they would like show some ads from time to time, and those would be ads for their own like paid plan, right? And the enshirtification just picked up there too. And then you would have like ads for the pro plan after every single thing you did. And then at some point they would just show ads. And that was like, okay, I just block ads like on a technical level through DNS and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was still okay. And then they introduced the whole AI shit, and it was like really bad. On top of that, they changed the system from like number of mistakes you can make to like this energy approach.
Yeah.
So you would do a lesson, and every answer you gave, no matter if it was right or wrong, it would use up energy.
Right.
And so they would force you basically to either stop or buy the pro plan. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gone. Like, no, just no.
I'm still doing it because I'm on my sister's pro plan. She got one for the entire family, and she had...
And here you go, you know, gaming the system again.
And she had like an extra spot, so...
Nice.
But no, what I meant... I mean, this gamification method works for a while, but if I compare this to the B2 level German, I did like every day 3 hours.
It's not the same.
With an entire class, and now I'm doing just with the teacher, so I'm going for the C1. There's no comparison. There's no comparison in anything, because the amount of focus you need to get through those levels in Duolingo is almost non-existent, I have to say. So I think it's a cool idea.
It's gamified to death, though.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of got out of hand, and it's kind of like, just keeping the streak and this and that. And now, because I don't have to pay for it, I was like, whatever, you know, like I'll just keep on doing it. But I got to the last chapter of it. I'm at level 8 because I was boring. It was boring to death, boring me to death, right? It was, and we had an entire module of the Little Red Riding Hood. Like, I couldn't.
Oh boy.
I couldn't. If I saw Rod Caption again, I was like, going berserk, right? So, yeah, I mean, cool idea, but at some point I think they kind of drank their own Kool-Aid,
they did.
because, you know, it started as an interesting thing, but if you're actually...
They overdid it.
But if you're like drawing a line, like, what am I actually learning here? Not much. I mean, I have to say, I think I learned 1 or 2 words, which I first encountered in Duolingo, like Abgeordnete. I haven't up until then. We had an entire module about the parliamentary system and all that stuff, which I have to say, for my Einbürgerungstest, it was good because, good, I recognized the word. I was like, oh, I know this one, right? And but otherwise... Yeah, I kind of keep on doing it because of inertia, and because also my wife is doing it, and she's also in the plan, and my kids are doing it, and it's
a family thing.
Yeah, it's a family thing, and also my sister and my niece and my brother-in-law. So it is that, but as in net value,
no,
not that much.
Not really, and that's why I never bought it actually, because the value was not there. So I'm willing to pay for things that provide me value.
Yeah.
I'm very value for value kind of person. I'm not the biggest fan of these subscription models because they usually tend towards enshittification. So I'm not, but one thing that an app like that never can do is this instant feedback loop our brain gets when... talking to another person. Just seeing and hearing people speak, and the way they move and the faces they make or don't make, and all the expressions and all of that is something we need. And that's the best and easiest way to learn a language, because that's also how children learn them. True. Just like 100 times faster.
Yeah, because they don't overthink things. That's...
Yeah, and the brain is very plastic still.
It is.
And wired towards that.
Yeah.
And so I personally found like talking to people is just much more efficient. So half of the team I have is in Spain.
Yeah.
And so I'll just listen to them, try to understand. I'll try to say things in Spanish, even if it's atrocious, grammar-wise or, pronunciation-wise. I can mimic them. That already helps.
Mm-hmm.
And they can instantly tell me, okay, I understand what you tried to say, but if you wanted to say it properly, this is the correct way to say it. And then this is also the slang way to say it. And that's also much more fun than looking at this stupid ass owl,
True.
strange things and trying to teach you that. So that's one of the reasons I think that it would be much more helpful for expats or migrants and so on that are actively trying to integrate themselves.
Yeah.
To not send them off for 2 years of Sprachkurs, but have them get into a working environment as fast as possible so they can interact and hear and talk the language every day. Of course, the other part has to be there too, like the actual people, the natives.
True.
Because that's also sometimes an issue.
They have to be accommodating and patient.
But the Danes have been doing that for a long time, getting people into the workforce as fast as possible. Mm-hmm. It's good for the workforce, right? And for the businesses and so on. And at the same time, people, they're just exposed to it. So they just, pick it up faster.
Sure, but I have to say, so I did 1.5 years, maybe 2 years of Swedish. And even though Danish, in written form, is very close, so I could now to this day, I can read and understand Swedish. I mean, if it's not a super complicated text, I can read and understand instructions and stuff like that in Danish and Norwegian, because they're very, very close to one another.
Until they start talking.
Exactly. So Danish is atrocious when it comes to understanding. They have, if I'm not mistaken, a Dane kid can truly pronounce correctly at the age of 11 everything, because they have all kind of throaty sounds that are almost impossible and non-existent in many languages. And from what I read, there is a reason they wanted to make their language unintelligible to Norwegians and Swedish, because they were attacked and included in both.
That's so funny, the history of the Nordics.
Yeah.
They have this hate-love relationship with each other.
Exactly. Funny, kind of like the Finns and the Swedes, right? Because Finland was part of Sweden for a long time, and it's also Swedish is the second language in Finland. But I think now they're pretty chill, and I mean
they're joking about it mostly.
They even had the Kalmar Union thing that worked for a long time there. So up until it didn't, because of course. But about this integration and stuff, I was just talking to my teacher. I said I actually had my first C1 level lesson today.
Oh, nice! How did it go?
It went well. We went through what I need and what is not yet there. For example, I still have problems with all those little connectors like von, by, zu, right? Because it was never truly clear to me. But she cleared it out in 3 seconds. She was like, zu, by, von. Easy peasy.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was never cleared or explained at A1, A2, B1, never. I mean,
How did they teach the language?
They just have...
I mean, they didn't apparently, but...
Yeah, they just have you learn by heart certain expressions and certain constructions.
That's so stupid. That's not the way to learn a language.
That's exactly what they're doing with kids. And kids, because as you said, that their brain is like a sponge and takes in everything.
Yeah.
It works for them. They kind of remember. But I mean, for me, German, right, is my 5th language. So I'm speaking Romanian, and then I learned English, and then I did 10 years of French, which was almost for nothing because we did we seldom did any kind of talking. It was mostly grammar and grammar rules, which is like the stupidest way of doing a language.
Yeah.
And then I did Swedish for about 2 years because we were planning on moving to Sweden, which never happened because reasons. Actually, this is a good story for the next one. And now German, because we kind of ended up in Germany by a total chance, and like, you know, it was never even as a possibility. It was like Germany, nah. You know, because we knew the language is difficult, and it is. And we were afraid that most people were Nazis, which they're not, fortunately, but some of them are kind of scary in that direction. And all that jazz. But we never thought of Germany as a possible thing, right? But exactly like in Forrest Gump, like life is like a box of chocolates. You truly never know what you're going to get.
And all the things you think you know about countries, systems, people, it's usually just wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it's hearsay. You hear someone who told a story that they heard from someone else. For example, most of my countrymen, meaning Romanians, they are beyond impressed with Germany when it comes to cleanliness, to everything working, all the trains coming on time and stuff. And yes, right? But wait,
okay.
So imagine the transition, which I think you can also find, you'll get the same story if you ask an East German after, you know, the fall of the wall. We were living in a kind of stuck in time place, right? And very stuck in time mentality. From the 80s on, there was like a Hunger Game thing going on because the wonderful dictator decided to pay our country's entire external debt in one go. Like no other country did in history. Of course, we had to be the only and the first and the only ones. And I presume the last ones who did that kind of a stupid thing. I hope for the, you know, for the well-being of other countries. But so we were like, in an open air prison. That was what the Eastern Bloc was, and Romania
pretty much
was like a really nasty place to be, and people were fleeing left and right. They were taking any opportunity to just go.
Of course.
And imagine, so after, I still remember. So I'm born in 82. So I still remember like 88, 89 when we were going shopping, and it was either hours long queue with hundreds of people, and people were like fighting, like sometimes even fist fighting for bread or for
like
butter.
Post-war Western Germany.
Yeah, it was bad.
Crazy.
Bad. Yeah. Like late 80s, right? People were living the best life in Western Europe, and in the East was some different story.
People were killing each other about a piece of bread.
Exactly.
Insane.
So it was either that, or you could go into this, what would now be like a marketplace of sorts, right? And there was nothing. Like nothing. Imagine like a totally like a sparkly clean store, and maybe they had like 3 jars of I still remember the brand, Krinos was called. So they had some olives, the ones were filled with some
paprika.
Pepper. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Those ones, but they were like expired already for years. They had them there like in a shelf for decor. Like it was just a decor thing.
Wow.
Nothing else. I still remember that, like nothing else. And or like meat that was gone bad was like a dark red to black thing and full of flies, and people were buying that and were boiling like the hell out of it. Yeah. So sorry for the horrible images, but that's what it was. So imagine people who were living in that reality, fleeing, and landing in like Western Germany.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, they
everything is shiny. You're so blind to all the problems
everything
they also
was
have.
like 50 years in the future.
Yeah.
And of course, the trains were kind of like from a different plane of existence. Yeah. And as I've been told, Deutsche Bahn was never this bad as it is now. Yeah. So it just gotten worse and worse. And yeah, everything was amazing. You know, I mean, I still remember. So you could find oranges and or like clementines or mandarins or stuff like this only around Christmas in Europe. In Romania. At least.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, all of a sudden, we could find bananas. They were from Congo because the entire that's the external debt of Congo towards Romania was paid in bananas. I'm not kidding. Our wonderful dictator accepted bananas instead of hundreds of millions of dollars or whatever it was.
Oh, wow. Banana Republic just got a whole other meaning.
So we got a couple of ships, like full-on ships full of bananas, and they would come green, of course, because they would put them green on the ship.
That's bananas.
Yeah, and we had to put them like on newspapers somewhere up, like on a wardrobe or something like that, to let them ripe.
To ripen them.
Yeah. And I remember I ate a green banana because I couldn't wait.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
It's terrible, yeah.
That was the starchy and like my entire mouth was like puckered like.
Yeah, no, that's not. No
horrible.
Bueno.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, this was part of my childhood and anyone's childhood, you know, on that side of the Iron Curtain.
There is a stupid banana joke.
All right.
So if you're in Germany, how do you figure out where west and east is? You put the banana on the wall, and wherever the banana is bitten off, that's east. I know it's terrible, but I just had to.
I mean, I have to say, mate. So yeah, no, I get it. I get it. Yeah, it is. I mean, for me, it's a bit bittersweet, but so I was a kid, still kid. I'm 87, so I was like 5 or something, and my parents bought. It was called Super Cristal. Was like toothpaste, but banana with banana aroma.
Oh!
I ate an entire toothpaste tube.
Ouch!
Man, I got so sick.
Yeah, really? Go figure.
I don't know how much fluoride that thing, or fluoride.
Yeah.
I don't think how much that thing had, but
Too much.
I think I still have some of it in my system to this day. Man, I was seeing blue, so everything turned blue. I was like sick.
Wow.
Yeah, I got poisoned with whatever that. Yeah. But man, it was like really, really sad. And also imagine, so my parents, I could tell this story in the next episode, like at length, but they helped my my aunt flee Romania. It's like a movie thing what they did. So my parents were both working at the airport, and they smuggled her in the baggage train. And
really?
Yeah, I mean it's
okay. That's insane. We have to talk about it. Yeah, in the next
I will
episode.
tell this story in the next one, like the full on. But so they got first to Italy, and it doesn't matter. In '88, my grandma was allowed to visit them in Canada. So after going from country to country, like from this refugee camp in Italy, they got sent to wherever else, and then to Canada. So she went there to visit them. She stayed for 1 year and a half. She got back in 80. Yeah, I think just before the revolution or something like that. Or she went in 87 and she got back in 88. I don't quite remember. I was still young. And she brought back one of those huge bags of like Milky Way and Snickers and Mars. Like, you know, the type you find in candy, an airport. Yeah. But like American-sized bag. Well, I mean, it was as big as a pillow.
Yeah.
I remember. So a set of toy cars, like all American cars, like Pontiacs and
Nice.
Firebirds
Cadillacs and
and
whatever.
everything was like,
Nice.
and all those colors, man, I was shocked. I've never seen anything like that,
Yeah.
right? On that side of the fence, and a jar, like the normal size jar of Nutella.
Nice. Like old school Nutella.
Yeah, the old school.
Not
man,
the new recipe they
I
have.
don't know.
Yeah.
It is a bit different, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, man, nothing remained in that jar. So we were
Yeah.
just having like half of a teaspoon at a time, each of us, and we didn't. We saw on the label that you could spread it on bread, but our bread was always either moldy or like really bad. So
Yeah.
no thanks. Yeah. So by the end of it, there was nothing inside. And we never washed that jar. We just cleaned it with our fingers. I'm not kidding, man. It was like,
Yeah.
it was a religious experience, that Nutella thing. So yeah, I get those jokes, like, yeah, well, how to know but it was like really sad for us.
It's funny in hindsight, now
Yeah.
sitting here, having everything,
Of
don't
course.
having to worry about it.
No, the thing that really bugs me is people wanting to go back to that shit.
Yeah, I don't get that.
It's
I just don't.
I mean, we could talk at length, and we will, about this subject, because this is something that
It bothers me. Yeah.
is beyond me.
Yeah, I don't
I'm
get
truly
it.
vexed. But my theory is that people do not regret the hardship and the hard times. They regret their youth, and
Yeah.
everything seems easier, lighter, friendlier, maybe.
I think there are many layers to this, like missing and regretting your youth, and maybe regretting the opportunities you either didn't have
Yeah.
or you wasted. The Greeks had an interesting image of kairos. So kairos is the right moment,
Yeah.
and he was represented by a man with two faces at the front and at the back of the head.
Oh, like Janus.
Something like that.
Okay.
And Kairos had was completely clean shaven, the head, but for a patch of hair on the forehead of the front facing head, because when the right moment was coming towards you, you had to grab it right then,
Right.
because once it's passed, you can't anymore. So that's an interesting
Interesting.
image.
Like an actual carpe diem.
Exactly. So I think that's part of it. I think that this whole generational memory kind of thing, it just ceases after 100 years, maybe 150 years, especially, or depending on how deep the trauma is, right?
Yeah.
That's just a thing.
Yeah, but it hasn't been that long, mate.
Yeah, but long enough, and apparently it was not bad enough.
Yes, 36 years. I mean, I wouldn't say it's that long. I still remember bits. Fortunately, I was young enough to not truly go through the brunt of it like my parents did, or people who are like now in their 50s, which I know lots of. But still, anyways, let's.
There's another layer, though.
All right.
So the future is very unknown, and almost every time or through all times, the outlook wasn't too good. We just came out of a period where the outlook was always better than looking back, and that's changing right now for many people.
Yeah.
And so the things the devil is better than the devil you don't know. And humans tend to forget the negative things in the past. And for a single human, 30 years is a lifetime.
That's like
34,
a generational. That's a generational gap. True.
And so if the outlook is very insecure and it might get worse instead of better, I think that's also when people tend to long for the good old days that objectively were not good.
Yeah, paradise
for all
lost,
the stuff
right?
you just, explained and told. But I think these things all factor into that.
True, and I also think that's a very good topic for the next one because
this is a whole
it's
a whole episode. Yeah.
So okay,
that's it.
I guess that's it. Thank you very much for being here. Sorry, I'm I'm not very coherent.
Computer says no. You're done.
Computer says no. Right. Okay, so that was it. Thank you very much for being with us, staying this long. It's been already 1 hour and 15 minutes. So yeah.
This is the shortest episode, though. No?
Is this?
I think.
Is it?
I think the last one almost cracked 1.5 hours. Or like episode 3 or 4. I don't remember.
I don't know.
So yeah, thanks for being here. Thanks for your time, mate. Always a pleasure.
Thank you very much. And see you next week.
See you soon. Live long and prosper.
Exactly. All right. Ciao.
Ciao.